Assalamu alaikum.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على السلام. حي على السلام. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. إن الحمد لله. And all praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We seek His help and we seek His forgiveness. We seek refuge with Allah from the evils of our own souls and from our bad deeds. Whomsoever Allah guides will never be led astray, and whomsoever Allah leads astray, no one can guide them. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I bear witness that there is no God except Allah Azza wa Jalla, the one having no partner, and I bear witness I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam is the messenger of Allah and the Khatamun Nabiyyin, the seal of the prophets, after whom no new religion or no new prophet will emerge. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe, fear Allah as you should be feared, and die not except in the state of submission. Ya ayyuhan nasu, O humanity, be beautiful to your Lord, who created you from a single person. And from him you created his wife. And from them both you created many men and women. And fear Allah, through whom you demand your mutual rights, and do not cut the relations of the womb in your kinship. Surely Allah is ever and all watcher over you. O you who believe, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, keep your duty to Allah and fear Him and speak always the truth. He will then direct you to righteous deeds, and He will forgive you your sins. And whosoever obeys Allah and His Messenger has indeed achieved a great achievement or victory. So today's khutbah, first I would like to apologize in advance. I prepared the khutbah to be what is traditional in New York, about 40 minutes. Here I understand I have to get things done in 30 minutes. So hopefully my reduction does not affect the flow or any portion of the khutbah, inshallah. So my khutbah topic is Shahdah. Shahdah. I was asked to present a halaqah and a khutbah on the topic of being a Muslim in a college in the U.S., being Muslim in a university in the U.S. So I decided to make the connection of what does it mean to be anything in anywhere for us. And this is where I've chosen this topic, Shahada. As a Muslim, whether you're a student, or whether you're a parent, or whether you're working as a teacher or professor, or you're working cleaning the streets, what is your goal? What is the objective? And it's cliche, everybody knows that we are here to worship Allah. That is our purpose. But what does that mean? And this is what we're going to inshallah discuss today. So what does the word Shahada mean? It is most often utilized to denote someone that has given their life for the sake of Allah, right? Shahada, right? Somebody is shaheed. He's given his life for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How is it utilized in the Quran? You might be surprised to know that innumerable times, many times it's mentioned, but only in one place, or actually nowhere except in one place, does Allah Ta'ala use this word to connote martyrdom. And it's mentioned innumerable times. The word shahida or shahidun or shahida yashahadu or shahidun, shahidun, shahida, shahidun, right? Many times, but only one time, and that's in Surah Al-Imran, where there's a difference of opinion on its meaning. However, every other time in the Quran is never mentioned in the context of martyrdom. So what does it mean? Right? And I'll just give you one example. I'm going to shaitan rajim. وَلَا تَقُولُوا لِمَنْ يُقْتَلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَمْوَاتٍ. This is in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 154. And do not say about those who are killed in the way of Allah that they are dead. Rather, they are alive, but you perceive it not. So here, and like this verse, qital in its various forms is mentioned at least 170 times in the Quran. 170 times. And that's the word in its various iterations, which is the preferred word that Allah Ta'ala uses for dying in His path, not shahada. So what is shahada? And what is shaheed? In the Arabic language, the antonym or the opposite of the word shahada is ghaib. And what is ghaib? Right? Alif Lam Mim, Zalikal Kitabul La Rayba Fihi Hudan lil Muttaqin alladhina yu'minuna bil ghaib. What is ghaib? Right? Guidance are for those who believe in the unseen. That is the ghaib. What is the opposite of the unseen? And this is what the core meaning of shahada. So the foundational understanding of that word, shaheed, is the opposite of al-ghaib, and thus its essential meaning is presence. The essential meaning of shahada is presence. So the meaning of shaheed is presence. Then you could unpack it with its corollary. If you are present, then you are also able to bear witness. You're able to bear witness if you're present. If you're not present, you cannot bear witness. Right? If you're not present, how are you going to bear witness? You have to be present to bear witness. And this is the core meaning of the word shaheed. Is to be able to bear witness, and this is how the Quran uses it. So, I want you to keep that present in your minds as we go through this khutbah. that the essential meaning of it doesn't make berupiness. But what we're going to discuss now is in the Quran. What is the philosophy of shaheed? Meaning, how does the Quran and the Sunnah employ this word? How has the Prophet ﷺ used it, and how does Allah Ta'ala employ this word in the Quran? So we begin with the most popular understanding of it, right? Not the shaheed and dying for the really want to do that, but how else do we understand this word? And we begin with the Prophet ﷺ, right from the beginning. In the beginning, Muslims were doing dawah secretly because it was dangerous. And when the command, the hukam of Allah Ta'ala came to now take the word out to the public, to preach it openly, here's what the Prophet ﷺ did. He organized the Quraysh, Banu Hashim, and he brought them to a feast. Because it is traditional in our culture to bring people to a feast and then give a speech and then say what you have to say. So he brought them all to come and have a feast. And when the time for the speech came, or for the message to come, the Prophet ﷺ said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I bear witness that there is no God except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And at that point, Abu Lahab interrupted. He didn't want to hear that. He knew where this was going. He interrupted, causes a commotion, and it was the end of the feast. Everybody going where, not hearing the rest of the message. However, when Allah Ta'ala gives a hukam to a prophet, he must obey it. He must fulfill the command. And so the Prophet ﷺ told Ali bin Abi Talib to go and gather everybody else, gather all the chiefs of Banu Hashim again. We're going to call them for a second feast. And when they were gathered for the second feast, this time, when it comes for the time for the speech, this is our culture, right? This is mannerism. This is proper adab. That it was an embarrassment to interrupt from the beginning for the first time. Somebody breaks bread, you eat their food, you should give them the courtesy to speak. And it's ingrained in the culture. At this time, they were embarrassed, so they let him speak. And then the Prophet said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Again, bear witness with the Shahdah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. I bear witness that there is no God except Allah, and I am the messenger of Allah to you specifically, meaning I come from amongst you. I come from amongst the Arabs, I come from amongst Banu Hashim, right? I come from this noble, from within you. You cannot deny my lineage. I'm not from the Persians, I'm not from this and that, I'm not from the Romans, I'm not from the Indians. I am from amongst you. Right? Taking away any argument about all, tribal politics. And then he says, I come from amongst you, but I am also for all of humanity, for all of mass. So it begins, so the first concept of testification, or shahada, is actually the testification of faith. Right? To bear witness that there is no God except Allah. And then this becomes the way you become a Muslim. That you declare publicly, and it's important. People say, why call it secretly? No. Right? You can have Iman secretly, but to be a Muslim publicly, you have to take your why. Because if you pass away and I don't know you're a Muslim, how can I give you a Muslim burial? How can I do your janazah? How can I divide your inheritance according to the Islamic way, to the inheritance law of Islam? So public declaration, people should know that you have become a Muslim. Right? So this is what it means, or this is how we begin to understand the word shahada, or to bear witness. It is also one of the 5 pillars, the topmost of the 5 pillars. Not only the 5 pillars, but also the 6 articles of faith, 6 articles of Iman. Right? And it's in Hadith by Abdullah bin Umar, it's agreed upon. Right? Bunyanu al-Islam al-Khamsin, right? The foundation, or the pillars of Islam are 5. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wa iqam as-salah, wa diyu zakat, wa sumu Ramadan, and wa hajj al-bayt. Right? 5. And this is agreed upon hadith, muttafaqun alayh, agreed upon by Bukhari and Muslim. And it is knowledge which is mutawatir, meaning it is, everybody knows it and it's beyond reproach. It is well known and it is forbidden in the faith tradition. As forbidden it is to deny Quran, you cannot deny this knowledge. And the topmost pillar is Shahada, because if you don't have the Shahada, all of the 4 pillars are meaningless. Why are you going to Salah if you don't believe in Shahada? You're wasting your time. Right? So Shahada, bear witnessing. And then we continue. Philosophy of the Quran, right? How does the Quran use it? How do we understand Shahada in our faith tradition? So we understand it like that, but also the Ahadi Allah, the primordial covenant, where Allah Ta'ala said, "Am I not your Lord?" And everybody said, and we all know of the narrative, right? Yes, you are our Lord. But also there was a second one taken amongst the messengers, where Allah Ta'ala gathered the arwah, the ruh, the souls of the messengers, and asked them additional question. Not only am I not your Lord, but also, do you accept to take the message to your nations? They were asked one additional question, and they had to accept the covenant, and they accepted the covenant. So the messengers accepted a second covenant, and that is to take the messengers. So they were duty bound to take the messengers to the people that they were sent to. And thus you had the messenger, all the messengers, from the beginning to the end. Nuh al-Islam, for the nation of Nuh, Ibrahim al-Islam, Musa al-Islam, Yusuf al-Islam, all the messengers until Isa bin Maryam. And after Isa bin Maryam, you had Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Each one of them first bore witness to Allah. First, were the first to take the Shahada. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. All of them declared this, and then all of them went to their specific nations to carry out the message. But the difference is that each prophet was sent to their nation for their time only. And Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was sent to all nations, for the whole world, for all times. That's the difference. So how do you imagine he got that done? Sure, Musa alayhi salam was sent to his people, and Isa bin Maryam was sent to his people. I mean, I have to cut that portion of the Khutbah out. But it's a very interesting narrative. But you go down to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How does he take it to all nations when he's not alive? And the answer is evident in Khutbah al-Wada, right? The final sermon. We all know the final sermon. It's very popular in all the Muslim countries, all Muslim cultures, right? The Khutbah al-Wada. We frame it, we talk about it. There's a lot of universal ethics in it which we're proud of, which we use to give dawah to. But did you know what happened at the end? When the Prophet ﷺ gave the Khutbah al-Wada, he gathered almost 100,000, more than 100,000 Sahaba. No microphones. And it was like you hear, the speeches today, like if you go to a protest, the person who's giving the speech on the bullhorn or whatever will say a sentence, and then it's repeated, and it's repeated, and it's repeated until people in the back can hear it. It's repeated. That's how they were doing it. And as the Prophet ﷺ gave the speech, he indicated that I may not be here, or I may not see you after this, indicating that this is his last public sermon. And then he gave the sermon, the legendary sermon, the epic sermon, right? And then what happened at the end? This is very important. We miss it. Many of us may not even know it. But it's such a crucial aspect of it. At the end, he said 3 times. He turned on his left and he said, "Have I delivered the message? Have I delivered the message to you?" And they in unison said, "Yes, you've delivered the message. You've done your job." And then he says, "Allahumma shad." And then he goes to the middle portion and he said, "Have I delivered the message to you?" And they said, "Yes, you have delivered the message and you've done your job." And then he said, "Allahumma shad." And then he goes to his right and he says, "Have I delivered the message?" And they said, "Yes, you delivered your message and you've done your job." And he says, "Allahumma shad." And that means, "Oh Allah, bear witness. Oh Allah, bear witness. Oh Allah, bear witness." And he's taking the responsibility, the heavy responsibility that no other messenger had to relay the message to all of humanity for all times to come. He takes it off his shoulders and puts it on the collective shoulders of the ummah. This is what happened. Massive import on the concept of bear witness. And the Prophet is not, we all know he delivered the message, he is not taking any chances. He knows what the akhirah, what's going to happen in the akhirah. And he is bringing Allah as a witness. Allah witnessed this. This is going to be such a heavy weight on people and the messengers because they took that second covenant. Their main and only responsibility was that, to relay the message. Whether you accept it or not, it's none of their business. Whether you accept it or not, alhamdulillah, you accept it, alhamdulillah, they're not responsible for that. They're responsible for relaying the message. And thus, it puts a heavy burden on Muslims. What is your job in university? Allahumma shad. Allah bear witness, these people, they've accepted that. He delivered the message, now it's on your shoulders to represent your core culture, your core values, your core beliefs, your core ethics. So let me move very quickly to, so that's bear witnessing in this life. Right? We have a responsibility. What's going to happen in the akhirah? What's going to happen on the day of judgment? There will be two general forms of bear witnessing. There will be a personal bear witnessing, right? Everybody has an accountability. Allah's going to hold you accountable for what you know and what you've done. That's personal. But there's also going to be a bear witnessing among nations, a collective bear witnessing. And to save time, let me just quickly read in English. Surah Al-Nisa. How will it be then? How will it be then when we bring from every people, every nation, a witness and bring you as a witness against these? Surah Al-Nisa. And then in Surah Al-Nahl. And on the day when we will raise up in every people a witness against them from amongst themselves and bring you, O Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, bring you as a witness against these, and we have revealed the book to you, explaining clearly everything, and a guidance and a mercy and good news for those who submit. So first, nations will be split. Nations will be split and segregated. Then there will be taking a person from within, as the ayah says, there will be a person from within each one of these nations. And who will that person be? That will be the messenger. Adam al-Islam from when he was alive. Noah al-Islam from when he was alive. Musa, Moses al-Islam when he was alive. Isa bin Maryam, Jesus the son of Mary when he was alive. Yusuf al-Islam. And go on, Yaqub al-Islam. Go on and on and on. Up to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then they will be made to bear witness against their nations that they had to teach, they had taught their peoples. And the nations will now be held responsible. So imagine, especially these days in the times of Trump and a prosecuting attorney, right? What happens? They first will testify to something, right? So the messengers will say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. We bear witness that there is no God except Allah. All of them will first do a Shahdah. They will first bear witness to this fact. And then they will proclaim, Oh Allah, whatever message you sent us with, we delivered it to our nation. And then it will be asked of the nation whether they followed the message or not that was delivered to them. And there will be no excuses of not having received the message, as the messengers themselves will bear witness to the fact that they indeed did their duty and they delivered the message. So what about Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? We will also be brought up. We're not immune to this. In the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah, and thus we have made you a just nation, that you may be the bearers of witness to the people, and that the apostle, that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he will be made a bearer of witness against you. It's a cycle. Prophets bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we are nations that will witness against other nations, and the Prophet is going to bear witness against us. Let me give you an example. Nuh al-Islam, Nuh will be, and this is a very interesting example, Nuh al-Islam will be the witness against his nation. He will say that he presented the truth to them, but they rejected. Right? Noah al-Islam, they rejected the truth and the flood and so on and so forth. He's going to bear witness against us. Yeah, I brought them the truth. According to Abu Sa'id, narrated that Allah's apostle, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he said, Noah, Nuh, and his nation will come on the day of resurrection, and Allah will ask Noah, did you convey the message to them? He will reply, oh yes, my Lord. Then Allah will ask Noah's nation, did Noah convey my message to you? And they will reply, they will lie. They will reply, no, no one came to us. Then Allah will turn to Noah. Allah will turn to Noah al-Islam, who will stand witness for you, he will say. Allah's going to ask. Allah's going to ask. To Noah al-Islam, who's going to stand witness for you? They're saying you didn't come and you didn't give the message. Who is your witness? What are you going to do about this? And Noah al-Islam will reply, Muhammad, Ummati Muhammad. Ummati Muhammad will stand as a witness for me. And then the Prophet said, so I and my followers will stand as a witness for Nuh al-Islam, that he conveyed Allah's message. And that is the interpretation of the ayah of Surah which I just read, Surah Al-Baqarah. Thus we have made you a just nation and the best nation, that you might be witnesses over humanity. And what does this mean, by the way? Why did Nuh al-Islam say that? You must have read this hadith and maybe not understood it. In other narrations, the rest of it is there. The people of Noah will respond after Noah says, Ummat Muhammad will bear witness for me. And then people of Noah will say to the Muslims, Ummat Muhammad, how do you know? You were not there. You weren't there when Nuh al-Islam was here. How do you know that he delivered the message? How do you know? And the Muslims will say, we received it in Kitab Allah. We read it in the book of Allah. We read it in the Quran. Your story is in the Quran. And the only way it could be in the Quran if it's been carried down over generations to the prophets, Moses, Abraham, Moses, Isa, Jesus. We know the story. And last messenger is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ends with us, according to our belief. Khatamun Nabiyyin. So to the last, that nation, the last nation will bear witness. We're not even going to go in the middle. And it was mentioned in the Bible. So what does that mean to us? It's a little uncomfortable. The reason why is because, what does that mean for us? We are witnesses over other nations, but the Messenger of Allah is a witness against us. And the Kitab Allah that he brought to us. Right? He delivered the message. Quran is revealed through Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? We're responsible for that book. We're responsible for this book. And not only is the Messenger of Allah will stand as a witness against you if you deny that, And Allah make it that nobody is in that position. Allah make it that nobody in that position. That the beloved Habibullah is standing as a witness against you. But the Quran itself is going to stand as a witness for or against you. And that completes the circle. That Kitabullah is going to witness for or against you. If you come up short of that, Kitabullah is going to be personified. And it's going to speak. He used to read me. He used to try to follow the injunctions in here. He used to recite me and learn from me, so on and so forth, and stand as a witness until it argues with Allah and brings you to salvation. However, if you deny this book, if you ignore this book, it's going to speak against you. And you're like this, and it's going to start arguing. He never read me. He never took heed. He never paid attention to the lessons in this book. And you will be helpless. So in conclusion, I pray that Allah Ta'ala, makes us bear witness no matter where we're at. Right? You're students. Right? It doesn't absolve you of being a witness. It is not a temporary stage in your life where you can just take a time out. It doesn't work like that. You don't know when your life ends. You don't know when Allah Ta'ala has He has written for you. And taking a time out is not an excuse to Allah Ta'ala. After you graduate and you have families and so on and so forth, you'll be busy with families. That's not an excuse. You'll be busy in your careers. That's not an excuse. You'll be busy. From now to the end of your life, you will be preoccupied. Allah will test you in family. Allah will test you in wealth. Allah will test you in your properties. Allah will test you in your businesses. But the thing that you have to have throughout all of that is you got to be able to bear witness. And others who are looking at you, observing your behaviorism. The greatest dawah or calling is your manners and your adab and your ethics. And make sure that it is shaped by the Quran. It's a reflection. And that on the Day of Judgment, the Quran is arguing on your behalf. Our Quran is arguing on your behalf. Like the Johnny Cockrams of all attorneys. It's arguing on your behalf. Can't lose. So in conclusion, إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون وأقيموا الصلاة
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قام الصلاة قد قام الصلاة الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Close the ranks, make sure there's no gaps, and make your intention as this is the last salah you'll pray. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in Ihdinas siratal mustaqim صراط
صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله الله أكبر. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi.
Assalamualaikum everyone. A couple of Jummah announcements. We have today at CML a movie night. We'll be watching the movie Umar. And then we also have from April 13th to April 15th, we have our spring retreat. I sent out an email for the registration link. So inshallah it'll be like a good source of spirituality and fun. Yeah, sorry.
I know, right? Talk me after. $4 लगे हुए ठीक है $100 का गाड़ी गाड़ी का तो वैसे खर्चा हाँ इसके अंदर है ना ये वाला तो प्लेस है 5 4 5 बैठे 4 बंदे हैं गाड़ी वो ले गाड़ी गाड़ी ऐसे तो नहीं ले